Hey guys, so you know what time it is again. It is makeup bag, weekly makeup bag, whatever we want to call this. This is it. But anyways, let's jump in. So I was using my Tarte Pro palette this week and I forgot how much I love this. I know it's very reflective so it's hard to see, but I'll try to hold it. So you have all these pretty shades, you have some warm tones, you have some nice shimmers here on the side, but the rest are all matte. But this is such a nice palette. I really like it because you can create so many different looks. It's mostly neutral tone eyeshadows, but just so pretty, and I really enjoyed this. I was happy when I went back to it. I'm like, oh my gosh, why don't I pull this palette more often? Because it is such a great palette, and it's great for travel too because there's so many choices that you could make from that. So it's really nice. If you forgot about it like I did, pull it out and start using it again because it is a great one. Another great classic is the Gwen Stefani by Urban Decay palette. Mine broke in shipping, which I was really mad about. But anyways, here it is. It's very neutral. I started working in a school this week, so I had to kind of go more natural with my makeup. And this was great for that because you can create, so it's a lot of cool tones, but you create any kind of natural look you want. And then it has your pops of color in there too, which is really nice. So I love this palette. It's continuing to be one of my favorites over the years. And no matter what palette I pick up, I always come back to this one because, I don't know, just something about it is so special to me. The formula, the colors, just everything about it. I really love that palette. And I took this with me. I went on a weekend vacation for my best friend. We were having a bridal shower for her, so I decided to take this palette. This is the UD Nocturnal Shadow Box, and this has so many pretty looks in it because it has a lot of neutrals, but then you do have some deeper colors down here that you can kind of play around with, your green and your blues, and it was just nice for a natural look. I didn't want to be too overdone. It was just a bridal shower, so it wasn't, anything to get too excited about, but as far as makeup goes, I didn't want to be like, here I am. So it was a nice natural palette that I could play with and love this formula. Again, it's a nice one to take traveling because you have some deeper tones, you have your everyday tones, so good little palette. So I recently picked up this Glow to Go highlighter palette from Essence, and it is actually a highlighter and bronzer palette, or that's what I've used it for. So it has 4 shades, 2 lighter ones and then 2 more bronzy tones. Now these ones I've used for shimmery bronzer and it looks really nice on the skin. So this one's more gold, this is pink, real bronze, and then you have almost like a taupey shade. I like these because the shimmer isn't like over the top, but it's not too subtle to where you can't see it. It's just somewhere right there in the middle. So I really enjoyed this palette, and it's just a couple of bucks. I want to say maybe $6 at the most, but I really enjoyed this palette. So if you see it and you're wondering about it, at least I really liked it, so I think it's worth giving a look to. And then I went back to using my Honest Beauty Instant Spark Luminizing Powder. This was out during the holidays a couple years ago. I'm not sure if they still have this, but it is a really pretty, so it's more of like a rose gold highlighter, which I don't have a lot of this color highlighters, so it's something that was really unique to my collection, and I really enjoyed it. It is pretty shimmery, but nothing like Champagne Pop or the Becca highlights. That's what I always go back to because those are so wabam in your face, and the Anastasia ones too, I guess, but this is just kind of, it's somewhere in between. It is very shimmery, but it's not like super shimmery, so if that makes sense to you, it's really nice. Like I said, I'm not sure if they still have this. A couple other cheek products, I had the Revolution Strobe Highlighter in the shade Holographic Lights. Now this is a white based highlighter, and then it has that gold shift, green shift to it, so it's a white highlighter with that greenish brown shift. I think it's very pretty, but it does come off very green on the cheekbones. So if you're not someone who loves that kind of different color look, you wouldn't like this. But if you do like that, then these are worth picking up. I think they're like $5 or $6. Makeup Revolution always has sales at Ulta where it's buy two, get one free, buy three, get two free, something like that. So they always are on sale. That's when I try to buy Makeup Revolution because I know their products are really good and they have good deals all the time. So I try to wait for some sort of sale so that way I'm getting a good discount on them. But if you're like me and you get a little antsy in between the sales, then go ahead and pick it up because it is a great product. The Celebrated blush from Tarte. So in the pan it kind of looks like nothing, but it's one of those looks like nothing blushes, but it is a great blush and it just adds a nice little bit of color, nice for every day. It's really professional if you have a daytime job where you can't wear like crazy makeup. It is very nice, just adds a nice little color to the skin, and I really, really love this shade. So that's Celebrated from Tarte. And I was using the Dream Street Kathleen Lights and ColourPop palette. This has so many different colors to it. You can create so many different looks, but it is really warm. When I got it in the mail, I thought, wow, this is a lot warmer than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to lean more neutral, but it definitely does. Like Stardust and Twinkle up here, Potion and Spark are very, very bright and pigmented. These two here I think come off kind of subtle on camera, but when you get it in person they're very bright. So just know that it is very warm, very deep tones. If you're a neutral lover, you're going to stick more towards this corner over here, unless you really do like those warm tones. I'm not a huge fan of super warm tones, so I kind of was just gravitating over here. And even these blues I wasn't wearing on a daily basis to work. But it is a nice palette, nice quality. ColourPop shadows are great, so I love this, love Kathleen, so definitely pick that up. If you're interested at all, it's a great deal. Then I was using my Stila Eyes Are the Window Spirit palette. Very neutral. This is kind of like a Stila take on the Naked palette from Urban Decay. I say that all the time, and we found out recently that the Urban Decay Naked palette is going away. So if you are not able to get your hands on that and you want to pick up something similar, this is great. Maybe not as pigmented as that, but Kitten up here in the corner is their famous shade, and it is very, very pigmented and beautiful in this palette. Great shades. You have your more you have like a silver blue and then your dark blue, and then up here you have a nice cranberry. So you can kind of play around with some colors, but nothing too extraordinary. So, I mean, it is a nice palette for beginners or more experienced. I just love it. So definitely, if you're interested at all, pick that up because it's great quality. And then I went back to using my Maneater palette from Tarte, and very neutral, but then very warm also. So I kind of used this in combination with another palette, which was the Vice Reloaded from Urban Decay. This was their 20th anniversary palette. This was limited edition, but I have it, and honestly, until recently, I hadn't really played around with it. So I wanted to get it out, play around with it, and if I didn't like it, move it out of my collection. But I paired these two together because, as you can see, this is more neutral. So it paired really nicely with this to really create those nice rounded looks, complete looks. So in here you have some classic shades like Smog, Asphyxia, Goldmine, Mildew, and then you have some newer shades that they came up with for this palette, but there's a lot of traditional Urban Decay shadows in this, so if you are a lover of Urban Decay, you probably have this, and if you don't have it, you can probably get it on like eBay or Mercari, or what's the other one that everybody always uses? Well, anyways, you can probably buy it on one of those secondhand sites, but it is great quality. I'm glad I have it. I don't gravitate towards colored shadows a lot, but it's something that I'm glad I have in my collection because a lot of these greens and purples I will use a lot. It's the more red tones and like maybe the blues that I probably won't gravitate towards much, but this is something that when I feel like I want color, I can pull it out and I know it's going to be great quality. So it's a nice addition to have in my collection. So glad I pulled that one out. And to just kind of round out this Maneater palette, this was the first version, which was so much warmer. This was a longer shade. Now they split this into two and they put a black shadow down there. It is really nice. This saucy shade is one of my favorite colors because I don't think there's a lot of shades like that out there. It's kind of that poopy brown shade, and I'm really loving those right now. So Man-Eater palette is a go for me, at least version 1. I can't fully say anything about version 2 because I don't have it, but I'm sure it's the same quality. So pick that up if you're at all interested. And then I have a couple new lipsticks. So this is Sweet Mocha from the Ulta collection. This is a more cool tone brown nude, and it's just so pretty. I love the packaging of these. That's so sleek, and then you can see your color at the bottom, which is really nice. So I really love those. And I have another one. This was the old packaging to them. So this is the number 259, and it is a more warm brown, as you can see, compared to the last one. It's kind of have that caramely butterscotch color to it. Then I had a Bare Minerals lip, and this was from a holiday set a couple years ago. This is Honey Bun, and it is a very warm brown. As you can see, I was pulling for the neutrals because, like I said, I'm working in a school now, so have to have that nice professional everyday look to me. So yeah, trying to dial it down, trying to use some neutrals and look professional. And then I have my NYX lingerie in the shade Bustier, which is a gray, purple, brown, kind of mixed all together. I really like these. They do dry down pretty matte though, so if you're not a fan of that, they're not super drying on the lips, but they are more drying than some of the other ones I've tried. So if you're not a fan of ones that are dry at all, you probably wouldn't like this formula, but I do, and it lasts all day long for me. And the last thing was this ColourPop Hello Kitty Lippy Stick in Konichiwa. This was a limited edition shade, and it is a nice pinky tone. So really love this. It's pretty bright when it's on their lips though. It kind of looks deceiving. You think, oh, it's a nice mauvey pink, but it's really not. It's kind of a bright pink. So love that. Love the lippy sticks. They're one of my favorite formulas from ColourPop. So that's all I have, guys. I know it was a little bit shorter than some of my other videos like this, but I hope that you still enjoyed. If you are wanting to see anything specific from me, please let me know, and I will try to get back to you as I'm starting my new job. I'm kind of have a lot of things on my plate right now, so I'm trying to get some videos out to you guys, but I can't guarantee when or how often that'll be. So anyways, if you want to see anything, please leave it below, and I hope you join me for my next video, and I'll see you guys soon.